Susan mentioned a while ago that I was the only lawyer in Texas to file a grievance against myself. And I want to tell you that I've wrestled with collegiality all my life. I see Bill Vance laughing at me because he's aware of this. I've not always followed the essence of collegiality. I'm going to tell you a story. Noli Bice and I were talking about a wonderful old judge, weighed 350 pounds. His name was Tate McCain. And I represented Tate McCain in a Ford park to reverse case. For those of you that are younger than probably 1987 when I tried this case, you may not know what a park to reverse case was, but there used to be a notch in the old transmission where if you got it right between neutral and drive or neutral and reverse, it would slip into the gear out of neutral, and it would catch you unsuspecting. My lovable judge, all 350 pounds of him, was out at his farm. He had the truck door open on his truck. He stepped out of the truck, he slipped in reverse, knocked him to the ground. He had to crawl to somewhere to try to get up. We try his case. Goes on for 2.5 weeks. It was difficult. The lawyer on the other side was very much like you see the lawyers in this deposition. I was representing a sitting district judge in Palestine, Texas. The lawyers were very interested in the case. The community was very interested in the case. We hung a jury. The jury started deliberating on Thursday, went through Friday. There was money on the table. Saturday morning, the lawyers are all coming to me. Everybody's coming to the courthouse and saying, well, Jim, bring me up to date. What's happening? You know, and I'd tell them exactly. Well, they've offered $800,000. I've turned it down. We're going to ride this thing out. So somehow, the $800,000 got back to the jury room because there was an affidavit after the trial, after we hung the jury. There was an affidavit filed by one or two of the jurors saying that some of the other jurors said when they were negotiating over the value of the case, they said, well, that's not as much as already been offered, which is a little difficult to understand. The lawyer representing Ford thought that I had, because it's my hometown, small town, I'm representing a local judge, I'd gotten into the jury some way and had told them that. I candidly, honestly, do not know how it got back in there, except it was all over the courthouse because I told everybody. You know, lawyers come up to you, that's just the way you are, and I don't think it'd be any different here in Waco than it was in Palestine at that time. So, we get a motion for me to be sanctioned for jury tampering. I walked to the courthouse that day. I had my office was about, in retrospect, I realize it now, I didn't drive. And I realized I was really upset. It didn't dawn on me when I decided to walk to the courthouse, but I walked 2.5 blocks to the courthouse. We're in the courtroom, and this lawyer starts in with regard to how I tampered with the jury and ought to be ashamed of myself, etc., and they ought to sanction me and disbar me and all this kind of stuff. So the judge who was on the bench could tell I was getting upset and declared a recess. And when he declared a recess, I turned to the opposing counsel and I said, look, if you really believe that I tampered with that jury, I want you to look at me in the eye and tell me that. I want you to look at me in the eye and tell me that. And when he did that, when I did that to him, he started laughing at me. And when he started laughing at me, I lost him. And broke his nose, knocked him down a couple times. The sheriff grabbed my right arm. I hit him again with my left arm. So that happened on Monday, Thursday, okay? Now, for those of you who are in law school, I want to tell you that's a felony. That's Ticketsville. In other words, I just committed a felony in the district courtroom where I could lose my ticket. That happened on Monday, Thursday. Friday, Good Friday, I drove a tractor all day thinking, well, how in the world am I going to get out of this? Saturday, I drove a tractor all day thinking, how in the world am I going to get out of this? Sunday, I drove a tractor mowing grass saying, how in the world am I going to get out of this? And then it dawned on me what our good governor, Lieutenant Governor Bill Hobby, who back in 1987 was caught at 1:30 in the morning on a road in Austin, Texas with a woman, not his wife, and also inebriated, driving under the influence. And so Governor Hobby had good lawyer. That lawyer did the right thing. You notice I didn't say attorney. That lawyer did the right thing, took him in the very next day, pled him out, got him out of the courthouse, and didn't do a Senator Craig, okay? He got it over with. So what did Jim Parsons do? It dawned on me, he said, I need to do the same thing. So Monday morning, I went in, pled guilty to the offense of a misdemeanor assault, paid a $1,500 fine. That afternoon, I filed a grievance against myself with the local grievance committee. Now, I'm subsequently elected president of the State Bar of Texas. The lawyer with whom I got this fight with, his firm was named his name, another name, and another name. The year after our fight, it was moved. It was the other name, and his name. And Ford had gone in and audited accounts and stuck him for $750,000 in overbilling. And then the next year he was gone, and I understand he's practicing in Kansas. So we're here in 1991, and I'm president of the State Bar of Texas. And this shows you how things come back to haunt you. And we're passing two bar referendums. One is to raise your dues. We were under sunset then. I know lawyers that are old enough to remember that. We were really on the gun in 1991. And we had to reform our grievance committee. So the Texas lawyer, doing the research that they properly should, found where bar president's own grievance case kept secret, probation fuels criticism of self-regulation. A District 2C grievance committee in November 1987 found Parsons, at the time a former bar director, guilty of professional misconduct for punching Dallas attorney James Maxwell on April 16, 1987, during a recess following jury trial. The emphasis was, what happened was when I filed my grievance, the attorney from Dallas also filed a grievance against me. The grievance committee put me on probation for 90 days. The condition of probation was that I not get in another fight for 90 days. So that came up back to haunt me in 1991. The moral of this story is this. I've learned by doing it the hard way, okay? I don't recommend any of this to anybody. That's one of the worst experiences of my life. It's still something, as Susan says, that I'm known as a lawyer who punched out a lawyer in the courtroom, which is not a great thing to be known for. It's not great to be known as a bar president and file a grievance against yourself as a result of something that you did. So I tell you that collegiality amongst lawyers is probably the most difficult thing that lawyers face on a day-to-day basis. I tell you that because I'm almost a convicted felon for not doing it correctly. So I learned the hard way. Don't you learn the hard way if you're a young lawyer.